right center field. Gone! Number 500! Entry for Miguel Cabrera.
Bottom line is, man, it's hard to break us. It's hard to break us. As a matter of fact, you ain't going to do it.
Open look for us. He hits it. What a play called by Tom Izzo in that timeout.
I was 7 years old watching a football game by myself, and I saw those winged helmets come out of the tunnel, and I was hooked at that point.
Kane in Chicago. Oh, my God. Kane with the overtime winner.
Jahmyr Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
He drives, lobs to JD for a jam.
You play real good, you start. You don't play as good, you work your way back in. The American way, except America has gotten soft. But that is the American way. That's the way it works.
This is the 6'6" Kane Cunningham. Jameson Williams, he's got it. Touchdown, Lions. Now it's Larkin with a burst of speed. He scores. Gives the United States the lead for the first time tonight.
Well, there's a lot of positive things we could be talking about this morning. There's a number of things that have to be troubling you just like they're troubling me. Welcome on a Tullymore Thursday here on X's and Bros throughout the great state of Michigan. I'm Matt Shepard. Glad to be with you here on the Michigan Sports Network, wherever it is you may be listening to us. We appreciate it. We know you've got choices, so giving us a little bit of time is very much appreciated. In Grand Rapids on WMAX 96.1 FM, The Game, Kalamazoo, Holland as well, Cadillac, WKD, The Ticket 93.7 FM in Petoskey and Charlevoix, beautiful area up there, WMBN 104.7 FM, The Ticket, Northern Michigan. In Lansing, WVFN AM, 7:30 a.m. The Game, our friends there in WKD, The Ticket, serving Traverse City as well. Maybe you're watching us stream live on YouTube, X, and on Facebook as well. I'm Matt Shepard, Andy McDonald alongside. Andy had a long night a couple of nights ago down in Detroit, watching the Pistons take care of business in their second round showdown with the Cavs. Are you going there tonight, by the way, Andy?
I won't be there tonight. No,
you won't be there. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of like the way we work it from Grand Rapids. We just sound like a couple different crews, it seems to be.
Yeah, fair enough.
That drive gets to be a lot.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I mean, the excitement is there for sure when you get there, and then you watch the entire game and do your post-game interviews, and there's a rush to a certain extent, but it probably leaves you, I don't know, maybe when you hit Jackson or Ann Arbor, somewhere around there, and you're like, okay, I just want to get home. I want to finish the gig, and I want to get to bed, and then you got to get up the next day. So yesterday you get the power bit, right? How comfortable was that power?
It's everything you need and more, man. It's the way to do it. But yeah, we had the Griffins here last night in the playoffs, so I went to that too. So I just plenty of playoff stuff going on right now.
Sure. We had Dominic Shine on last week. That was fun. The captain for the Griffins. What's that series at now, Andy?
They're up 2-1. Grand Rapids got it done last night. It was 3-1. They pretty much dominated the whole game again. There was a late penalty for a fight. Manitoba scored to make it 3-2, but Grand Rapids was able to get an empty netter and win it. So Friday's game 4, they could wrap up the series and move on if they win that one.
So the Griffins in control, you hope, and clearly the better team over the Manitoba. Have you ever been to Manitoba, by the way?
I have not. I've not been there yet. No.
Okay, I was the voice of the IHL Detroit Vipers for a while.
Okay.
As I worked at the Palace of Auburn Hills Sports and Entertainment Group, worked there doing Vipers and doing Detroit Shock WNBA and doing a lot of things for the Detroit Pistons as well. Manitoba was, of course, part of the International Hockey League. Wow. That was quite the education. When you see these, especially in the wintertime, and when it's snowing good, and they get plenty of it, and you got people riding their bikes in the snow to work. It's a different.
Yeah, you're definitely doing a different thing down there. I think the one thing too I wanted to mention that I think Wings fans could take away again last night that I found interesting was Michael Postava started again last night.
Again,
yes, yeah. Sebastian Costa is still not a playoff game.
What is the story there? I mean, more oftentimes than not, what happens is not that coaches don't have those decisions, but the organization usually has a say in something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Is I'm not sure how much it's up to Dan. I don't know what the decision is, but I mean, at the end of the day, they both have played great this year.
Sure.
I don't even. I mean, Postava is a shutout last night. he probably should have had a shutout going in the third period. The one goal that Manitoba scored, there was definitely a debate on if it was goaltender interference or not. So he's been playing.
And only one goal in the loss. He only allowed
Yeah.
one goal in the loss. It was a 1-0 setback.
And he got moved to the Red Wings late when they needed a call up late. I don't know how much that had to do with, neither one of them were probably going to play. But still, it's just it seems like they're kind of starting to lean his way a little bit more, which is a really, really interesting topic considering how much people have followed Sebastian Cossa.
Yeah, there's a part of me that admires the organization for saying, look, we're going to play the best guy. Doesn't matter where you were drafted. Doesn't matter how we acquired you. We're going to play the best guy. That's fine. On the other hand, Sebastian Cossa was the best goaltender, not just in Grand Rapids, but in the entire AHL for 3/4 of the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean,
and as a first-round pick, I mean, you're hoping he's the guy who comes up and backs up John Gibson next year. And you can't tell me that he hasn't started enough games because he has.
Okay? Oh, he's definitely played enough in Grand Rapids.
Yeah. Don't this is not a AA, AAA situation in baseball where I've got to get him 1,500 at bats. Max Clark has got to see more pitches. I need to start every single day. No, Sebastian Cossa, if he's not ready by now, this would be the question for Steve Yzerman and others in his front office. If he's not ready by now, when will he be ready?
Yeah, that's
would be a good interview for that.
Yeah, exactly. They're only going to get the noise. Are only going to get louder with that if he, for whatever reason, doesn't play. But we'll see. I mean, Game 4 Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if he does start because again, he did great all year, and I feel like they believe in him. It's just someone's got to. I mean, I don't know if it's all Dan's decision, but somebody's got to be thinking that they're going to keep going with Postava since he's played 3 games. I guess.
Well, yeah, but you said I guess he would have to play. Why would you play him? Why would you play him now?
I guess, yeah, if Postava stays that high and you have a day off today, it's not like you have to make that decision. Yeah, I mean, at some point you'd think maybe because you don't want to, tire him out either if that is your best option. But
yeah, but you're getting, I mean, you're playing every other day.
Yeah.
I mean, goalies, just like anybody, they've got a rhythm, right?
True.
Okay. No way do you make the change now and risk the chance of derailing your series win. It's just that would make no sense to me whatsoever.
For sure.
I just don't. It's not that he hasn't played a lot. He played 25 games, but Sebastian Cossa played 39 games. Andy, I mean, it's not like he was bad. Now
that's why everybody's right now.
26 wins. I mean, that's really impressive.
No, he had a great season. I mean, that was like the story kind of towards the end of the year was how good they both were, and they both were pushing each other. It still felt like at the end of the day, Cossa was going to be the guy going into the postseason. But yeah, they just this is how they went with it.
Yeah, and it's worked for him. So let's just leave it the way it is. As far as I'm concerned, you stick with the guy who is red hot for you, and the other guy has to understand that too. Well, we're glad you're rested up. I know you were, even though you were at the Griffins game last night, you're keeping another eye on the Tigers game. Red Sox complete the sweep of Detroit at a 4-0 win. Detroit pitchers walked 7. The offense collected just 4 hits, and the defense made another error. It was a 2-run error by Colt Keith in the 4th. And for me, I get it that you're playing certain players where you have to, okay? Even though you're going to live with it because of his offense. He's not great defensively anywhere you put him. What is his natural position? That's a great question. This has been my issue with this team for a while now, and we'll get to that coming up here. Detroit has dropped 3 of their last 4 series. They head to Kansas City for a weekend series starting Friday. You look at your pitcher and you realize he deserved a lot better. Jack Flaherty has been terrible this year, but last night he was good. He was good enough to win. Should have been 2-0, but when Colt Keith boots it at third base, that's what did him in. Not because of the strikeouts was he good enough. He was just good enough because of the strikes throwing and because he was getting ahead of hitters and so on and so forth. We'll talk about that, give you some numbers associated with it. A.J. Hinch was not in the dugout last night. We'll explain coming up here on X's and BrO's, just getting starting on a Thursday here on X's and BrO's, brought to you this hour by our friend Mitch Lyons Wealth.
Motown Legends, TNT, together again. Temptations. More Tops. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $55 and on sale now at the box office at etix.com. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops together again.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
Saturday night, May 23rd.
Carry on my wayward son.
Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort welcomes multi-platinum legends, Kansas. Tickets start at $60 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Don't miss the best of classic rock. Kansas returns to Soaring Eagle Saturday, May 23rd. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
It's been a kind of a rough go for him to go out there and post 5 innings with 97 pitches, 10 punch out to get off to the start he did. I was really happy. Like this game, we always talk about the more you do it, the easier it gets. It never gets easy. So it was exciting to see him go out there and throw the ball and really grind through some innings, give us a chance to win the game. We misplayed a couple balls behind him. AJ, we preach all the time that we have to learn to catch the ball and to give ourselves a chance to win. We have to have the defense out there. So Keith had a tough time with the one ground ball, the one pop up in front of the dugout. I'm sure Torque thinks he can make that play.
That's George Lombard, who was the acting manager last night because A.J. Hinch served a 1-game suspension, served that with Framber Valdez, who was handed a 5-game suspension for hitting Trevor Story Tuesday night. Welcome back, X's and Bros, Monday through Friday, 6 until 9. Oftentimes when people are like, well, why does the manager get that? Because we understand why Valdez was hit with the 5-game suspension. With Hinch, a lot of times what MLB's rule is that managers are accountable for the actions of their players once they take the field. That's the situation, whether we like it or not. And we don't necessarily feel like it's true in this case, because after all, I read you the quote yesterday, what A.J. Hinch said. When he comes out and says, we play a really good brand of baseball here, that didn't feel like it. I'm not judging the intent, but I know when you go out on the field in those confrontations, you usually feel like you're in the right. It didn't feel good being out there. So he knew you got to take the field. When bench is empty, you're not going to be the guy sitting there popping sunflower seeds or chewing gum. You're not going to do that, right? You got to go on the field. Usually when you go on the field, you have to feel like you're there for a purpose, the right purpose. That's A.J. Hinch's way of saying, look, we begrudgingly went on the field to protect our teammate who was in the wrong there. But he still got the 1-game suspension. It's over. Now they go to Kansas City starting tomorrow for a weekend series against the Royals. And that's when A.J. Hinch will be back on the bench. Now, with that said, he will not have Framber Valdez making his next start, because Valdez will have to obviously miss the game due to the suspension, okay? And they'll take on a Kansas City team that had their 5-game winning streak snapped last night, but they have won 7 of their last 10. Not like they're great, not like this division is great. Cleveland leads the division at 500. Detroit is 2 games under 500, 18 up, 20 down. They're 1 game back. Andy, if I asked you how many teams in the American League have a winning record, how many would you say?
I'd probably say like 2 or 3 right now. I feel like it's that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be right. There's 2. There's 2 teams with a winning record. I don't have to educate people. 500. I don't count 500. It's not a winning record.
The Yankees and Rays? Is that it?
Correct.
Okay, I had a feeling.
Yep. Yankees are 25-12. The Rays are 24-12. Which begs this question. And you're a baseball guy. You're up to on just about everything. Who's the best player on the Rays? Like, we know that with the Yankees. Ben Rice has had an MVP-like season. Should have won a Silver Slugger last year as a utility player. Aaron Judge, fantastic player. You know Jazz Chisholm. You know a lot of the Yankees. Okay, give me a Tampa Ray.
Junior Caminero. That's the one that I always think of.
That's a good one.
He's on my fantasy team, so
okay,
easy one for me to remember.
No, that's really good. I don't think he's their best player, but I think it's a good one. Yandy Diaz might be their best player.
Yep.
I don't know if people realize this, but Cedric Mullins plays for Tampa now. He was in Baltimore.
They have is it Taylor Walls too? I think, right?
Taylor Walls. Yep. He plays shortstop for them. Not having a great year, but hey, you know what? They're fields the ball, unlike Detroit last night.
Right.
For some reason or another. Why is that? Well, we'll get to that coming up. Gleyber Torres placed on the 10-day IL. They recalled Jace Young, and he played last night. The Tigers on the IL right now, and they have a payroll of $240 million. $110 million is on the IL right now.
It's crazy to think about. I think I saw that post yesterday. I wish I could remember who it was. I'll find it to give them the credit. But I saw the post that said that Cleveland's whole payroll was what, 80 million?
80 million.
Yeah. That's that's crazy to think about with what the Tigers are dealing with right now.
I don't know if I've ever seen something like this.
I don't like to use injuries as an excuse at all because it's just not like, at the end of the day, you got to play the games, you got to win the games. But
right.
How can you not say it's affecting the Tigers right now? At least a little bit. I mean,
look, dude, it would affect any team.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't think like our team is, this super team. First of all, they're not a super team by any stretch. They're not this super team that can overcome this. I don't know anybody who could overcome this. I would tell you this. You said Cleveland, 80 million, right? Detroit's got 110 million on the IL. Minnesota's payroll is 105 million. So you got more on the IL than Minnesota. You have more on the IL than the Chicago White Sox, who are at 89.5 million. More on the IL than Cleveland at 80 million. But can I remind you of this? They also have more on the IL than Tampa. So if Tampa, that's why I asked you the question, how many teams in the American League have winning records? You guessed it. You said New York and Tampa. Understand that Tampa's payroll is $102 million. That is $190 million less than the Yankees. $190 million less than the Yankees.
That's why money doesn't always win you everything at the end of the day.
It does not. The 190 million discrepancy is more than over half the league. That's incredible. The disparity between the two. 17 teams in this in Major League Baseball have less than $180 million payroll. So, or $190 million payroll, excuse me. Arizona, Texas, Angels, Baltimore, Seattle, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Colorado, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Tampa, St. Louis, Washington, the Athletics, the White Sox, the Guardians, and the Marlins. 17 teams. That's the difference between the first place team in the AL East and the team that sits in second place and is just a half game back. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to finish, but as of right now, that's a hell of a perspective right now. We think spending money means everything. And quite honestly, it just doesn't, man. Hell, the Red Sox spend $195 million. They're well under 500. Of course, they just swept the Tigers, but they're well under 500. People are frustrated. Do you remember the skid? And it was in New York. They would never describe it as a skid. The Mets are in last place, Andy. Okay? Do you know what their payroll is? You should. It's $335 million more than anybody else.
I say not off the top of my head what the number is. Yeah, I know it's up there for sure. They're the number 2, right? In the MLB?
No, they're number 1.
Number 1, okay.
According to Sport Track, they're number 1. Then it's the Dodgers, then it's the Yankees.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Those are things that oftentimes need a little bit more highlight on. I mean, Toronto, look at Toronto. They're what, 5 games under 500? They're 4th in all of baseball in spending. So it just doesn't always add up in that regard. All right. Pistons are ready for game 2 of their series with the Cavs tonight. Detroit a winner last night, 111-101, or 2 nights ago, 111-101. Remember, they forced 20 turnovers and scored 31 points off those 20 turns. Last night, Knicks came from behind, beat Philly 108-102. They're up 2 games to none. Jalen Brunson had 26. OG Anunoby had 2 dozen. It's a collision course, right? You would think, between the Pistons and the Knicks. San Antonio gets even with Minnesota thanks to a 133-95 blowout. Victor Wembanyama, 19 points, 15 boards. The 38-point loss by the Timberwolves was their worst playoff loss in franchise history. Winners in the NHL, Buffalo doubled up Montreal 4-2. Anaheim beats Vegas 3-1. It's a 1-0 Sabres lead, and it's a 1-1 tie going back to Anaheim between the Ducks and the Knights. Andy's already put out the Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question. We'll give you that when we come back. Get to some of your texts. A little bit later on, we will talk big time moves in Lansing in 8:35. The founder and the idea man, Jeff Lazaros of Strikeout Baseball, joins us. Stay with us.
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Saturday night, May 23rd.
Carry on my wayward son.
Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort welcomes multi-platinum legends, Kansas. Tickets start at $60 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com.
Just in the wind.
Don't miss the best of classic rock. Kansas returns to Soaring Eagle Saturday, May 23rd. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
How would you like to watch the Pistons in the playoffs on the biggest TV in Michigan? Well, you can get a huge deal and also get the biggest TV at your local ABC Warehouse store. You can shop online right now at abcwarehouse.com. They have locations all across Michigan. So if you want to watch the Pistons in the playoffs on the biggest TV in your neighborhood, go to your local ABC Warehouse store or shop online at abcwarehouse.com.
I mean, just being at the right spot at the right time. And, I mean, Asar got a different type of athleticism, so he can make up for a lot of the mistakes, whatever he does. But one thing that I picked up from him is just keep being him. I mean, he ain't – other teams is guarding him. He's not letting that affect him. He found another way to be effective. And I'm really watching that, and I feel like I can take a lot from him.
Yeah, that's Ron Holland, who, give credit where credit is due, man. It is not easy to sit and watch. When you're used to playing, it's not easy to sit and watch. And he's a guy who was able to do that and then still be effective. That's tough. It's really tough. So a ton of credit to Ron Holland for being an impact on game one. Hopefully he'll be an impact for game two tonight as well. Let's get to the Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question. As I mentioned, Andy has already tweeted it out. I've retweeted it. This is the first time I think we've done this. How'd you feel about this tweet? How'd you feel about this question? Probably not great. I get it. How much do you care about the Vrabel-Rossini alleged affair? Not at all. Followed a little, immersed in it, or just want to see it come to an end. Here's my guess. Most people want to see it come to an end. That's what they'll say publicly. But deep down inside, Andy, I don't think they'll say that. I think this is fascinating for people.
Yeah, no, I think just because it's also like tied in with the Patriots, and a lot of people still just don't like the Patriots. I feel like they don't mind that at all.
Well, how about Boston in general?
Yeah, that's true.
First of all, it's a really cool town. It is. My wife's family is from there. I can snicker a little bit about this stuff. They'll always come back and say, hey, look at the World Series rings. We've got more. Look at the New England Patriots. We've got more. Look at the Boston Celtics. We've got more. All we got is what? Our college athletics and the Red Wings. They'll talk about Fenway Park. We didn't tear down Fenway Park. We actually made it better. You could have done the same thing. Since your ballpark and our ballpark were the oldest and opened on the same day.
They could have done that. That's getting deep right there.
Well, I've had these. You can tell I've had these conversations.
For sure, that's a debate.
Yeah, it's a massive debate. Trust me. I lose the debate. There's nothing I can say.
Yeah,
I can't say a damn thing about the Red Sox or the Tigers because the Red Sox have more World Series championships and they have more recent championships. So I can't. There's nothing I can do in baseball. I can talk about the greatest Tigers of all time, but they'll come back with really impressive Red Sox players of all time. When they start talking about Ted Williams, it's tough to beat that. When I go Ty Cobb, they'll start laughing. Okay. Not because he wasn't great, but because, that's how far back I have to go. Anyway, Celtics, it's impossible there. I can't sit there, Andy, and say, well, look at 1988 and 1989 when we got rid of you, in 1990, when we beat you in the playoffs. You can't do that because they've got more championships than anybody in basketball outside of the Lakers, right? Okay. And then it turns to football, and you already know that. I mean, holy mother. Now, this gives me ammunition where it's like, hey man, you got an owner in Robert Kraft who loved massage parlors. Wink, wink, right? You've got a coach now, one of your previous coaches, your legendary coach, has a 20-year-old on his arm on the sidelines in North Carolina, but even when he was in New England, right? Wasn't he dating her? I believe he was. She's not 20. She's a little bit older than 20. She might be 23, 24, whatever it is, but he's in his 70s. Most people will be like, hey, thumbs up. Good job. Way to go, dude. This guy, he has no shame whatsoever. Being led around by she's the B word, right? Okay. And now you got a coach who's in all kinds of, this story just keeps going. This is a soap opera. This is made for ABC. It really is. Where the belief was that he, according to records, TMZ came out with this yesterday. I'm sure people saw it. He was on a boat with Diana Rossini. They rented a boat together, just the two of them, for 2 to 3 hours while she was pregnant with her first child. What? How is that? Who does that? Either way, how does she do it as a pregnant mom to be? And how does he do it knowing that's the situation, unless that's a leap, right, on whether or not it's his or not. And I don't know if it's true, Andy, or not, but it's been reported on a couple of different websites that her husband wants, some testing done. Anyway, DNA testing of the children. Anyway, that's the poll question. I know it's not the greatest. It's not necessarily sports related, but it is pop culture related. It is something that is going on right now.
Sure, something different. But I got a question.
It is you're right about that. It is something
it's definitely something different. I got a question for you. I've been thinking about that debate that you've had with your friends from Boston. So you mentioned the stadium and how they brag about how they fixed theirs. Do you think, like, obviously Tiger Stadium, Comerica, been to both plenty of times. Do you wish that the Tigers just fixed Tiger Stadium and kept it?
Absolutely.
Okay. And why is that? I'm just interested. As somebody that couldn't go to Tiger Stadium, like my dad talks about it all the time. I wish that I could have, but I didn't go. So
yeah, that was a heavenly place for me. Now, this is all nostalgic stuff. I'm not saying Tiger Stadium was a better stadium than Comerica Park. I think Comerica Park's okay. All right. I don't think nobody is listing Comerica Park as a top 10 ballpark. Anybody who's been to all the baseball stadiums in the country, they're not listing Comerica Park in their top 10. But it is, I think it's nice. And I love the city backdrop. That's what I love about it probably more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's
when you're in a broadcast booth or you're behind home plate and you see the skyline, it's beautiful.
It's awesome.
They set it up the right way. Okay, no question. What I wanted them to invest in Tiger Stadium because of the nostalgia there, this historical significance. I think baseball is the only sport. Well, I should include hockey there, so that's not fair. But I do. So many indoor arenas, so many arenas these days are used for multi-purposes, right? Even baseball stadiums too, but especially arenas. Football fields are too, but in arenas, every hockey venue I can think of also used for concerts, also used for basketball. It's a way for cities and teams to collaborate and make more money, keep the stadium in use, but also to have, a regular flow of cash flow, right? That's why the Palace probably was never going to work. It was strictly for the Pistons and it was going to be used for concerts. And when you get a beautiful arena like Little Caesars Arena downtown, you're going to, if you're an act, where are you going to play? You're going to play at Little Caesars. It's bigger than the Palace, more up to date, in downtown, a lot of vibe, all those different things, right? So I totally understand that. Ford Field gets a lot of musical acts too, to keep it going. So I get all that. That's fine. What I loved most about Tiger Stadium is that this was the same spot that you saw some of the greatest players, even though you didn't see them. You knew some of the greatest players in the history of your sport played there. Ty Cobb played there. Babe Ruth played there. Willie Mays played there. Look at the 1971 World Series All-Star game. All those different things. Okay. Johnny Bench was there. Holy crap. Can you believe it? Hank Aaron played there. Oh my gosh. So all these different places, all these different had certain nostalgia, but Detroit had the deepest, richest rooted nostalgia in baseball, along with Fenway Park. What they've done with Fenway is really impressive. Now, their broadcast booths stink. They're awful. But what they've done around the concourse, up in the Green Monster, all those different things is special. I don't like to admit it, but it's really special. It's the way baseball is supposed to be played and watched and experienced. I think baseball is an experience. I think baseball, more than any other sport, brings you to a place where you can get lost for a couple of hours. It's a place where you and your dad can go sit side by side and talk to one another. Whereas other sports, I think it's really hard. Music is pounding in the NBA. Hockey, it's very loud. Baseball can be very, very quiet at times where you can actually have a conversation. You can't do that in the NFL. Holy crap.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No.
It's not the same at all.
People are standing, people are drinking, people are going crazy. Baseball, it's not a a white glove situation, but you're almost sitting down to dinner rather than going out to dinner.
No, I like
you're
that.
Sitting down. You're sitting down at your kitchen table, whereas the other sports, you are probably doing what? You're probably going out to a busy restaurant. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Shep. I never really thought about it like that, but that's very true. Compared to other sports, that is how it feels when you go to a baseball game.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I love that.
And Tiger Stadium had, you can ask your dad about this or your grandfather or anybody who's been there. There was, as soon as you walked into that ballpark, you knew damn well you were at a baseball game. Whereas other places, I feel that way at Fenway Park. I feel that way at Wrigley Field. I feel that way at Dodger Stadium. I feel that way in Pittsburgh. I feel that way in Kansas City. You feel that way in San Diego. It's hard to describe. Seattle is really good like this. It's a baseball stadium. Whereas some other ones, you're like, okay, is this truly all baseball? I know that seems weird because it's a baseball field, but it's just there's something about it. But the location wasn't ideal. So where it is now, I have no problem with it. None whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest setups about Detroit, I guess. It's just how cool those all are, or close they all are together. And
it is.
When you're like hanging out and stuff, before games and everything, it's a great spot for it. So
it's so cool that you can stand in the middle of Woodward and see all three, obviously downtown Detroit in Woodward, not Woodward and 15 Mile, but if you can stand in the middle of Woodward and see all three stadiums. Would I like more around there? Yes. I think there were promises made that have not come to fruition. But when you can stand there and you can see an iconic building, like, when you've got Little Caesars Arena here, you've got Comerica, you've got Ford Field, and then you got the Fox Theater. That's a really cool, powerful moment of what downtown Detroit should be. So that was a long-winded answer. I apologize.
No, I love it. That's good stuff.
When we start talking about those types of ballparks, those are really important. I was at the last game at Tiger Stadium, and I'll never forget walking up. You used to walk up a small ramp to get to your lower level seats, and there's the Tiger striped wall on your right-hand side as you walk toward. This is right behind home plate. And as soon as you walked there, Andy, you could smell the grass. That was what baseball was all about to me as a kid. You could smell the grass. You were close to the players. I remember sitting one time, I couldn't believe I had these tickets. I was down the third base line because that's where the Tigers dugout was, and on deck was Lance Parrish. And you were so close to him, and you could see the chain around his neck. You could see everything that he had going on. I mean, seriously, if he had cologne on, you could smell it. But as soon as you walked into the stadium, you could smell the grass. You could smell the roasted almonds. It was different, just completely different.
No, that's what sports are about to me, man. Like I get everything. There's certain memories I have from walking into a lot of these stadiums around here that are like the same for me as that. Mm-hmm. So that's like exactly how I feel about it. So I feel like, maybe it's because we got into this business and we like being this close to players and everything, and you chase it, right? But like, yeah, I hope that a lot of other people get that kind of feeling when they do stuff like that.
I do too. I mean, there's a nostalgia about it. I remember I took a bunch of dirt from third base when I was at that last game. I still have it right around the corner here. But that first, when I walked in there, because it was a place where it was, my father and I had such a connection there because how much she loved baseball. I mean, I was bawling, absolutely crying when that was the last game, when I knew that was going to be it. And I was, the only other time I think I cried at an event was when the Red Wings won their cup for the first time in 42 years or whatever. I was at Joe Louis Arena. Wasn't as emotional as I was at Tiger Stadium, but there was a little bit of a tear in my eye because of how the city reacted and how people were. And I remember standing on the concourse, walking in at Joe Louis Arena, standing next to a police officer who was there to obviously keep the peace, but also had to see the final seconds tick down. And I just wanted to experience that part of it. You're not a fan, but you're there to cover it as a media member. but just for a moment, I needed to step outside of the media portion of my life and stand next to somebody who also realizes the impact this is making on his city. And we both looked at each other. And we both had a tear in our eye, even though you're there to do a job. Anyway, memory lane for sure. The Tigers, by the way, according to Jason Beck, first time in Tigers history, they allowed 4 hits or fewer in a game, struck out 15 or more batters in a game, and lost. They've had 10 such efforts before, but those were all in victories. First time ever, 4 hits or fewer, 15 strikeouts or more, and lost.
Yeah, it's tough to get the effort that they got last night and get the result they got with everything that's been going on with them now.
And Andy Flaherty was good. He was really good. This is why wins and losses, it's not much different than quarterbacks. Quarterbacks can have really good games. I've brought this up before, Josh Allen, but take an L. The L lives with them, even though it's not always on them. That L last night that Jack Flaherty takes is not on him. Would you like him to go more than 5 innings? You're damn right you would. 5 innings to me is ridiculous. As a starting pitcher who's making $20+ million, you've got to go longer than 5 innings. I hate bringing up the salary always associated with it, but you got to go more than 5 innings. But he was really good in those 5 innings, giving up 3 hits. He gave up 4 runs, but 2 of the runs were earned. Struck out 10, threw 96 pitches, 67 for strikes. Okay. His first 5 outs were strikeouts. His last 5 outs were strikeouts. It was his first double-digit strikeout game since he was with the Dodgers in early August of 2024, 2 years ago, and his first double-digit strikeout game as a Tiger pitcher since April of 2024 when he punched out 14 Cardinals. So good enough. Unfortunately, Detroit continues to struggle. They have committed 21 fielding errors this year. 24 runs have scored in innings where an error was committed by Detroit. Now, I gave you a little bit of the positive with Jack Flaherty. I'm going to give you another positive and then some concerns. We've got both when we come back here on X's and Bros, rolling here on a Tullymore Thursday, brought to you by Mitch Lyons Wealth.
You've worked hard for decades saving in pre-tax retirement plans like 401ks and IRAs, saving on taxes now. But as your retirement now approaches, you're going to get taxed at rates you have no control over. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth. Your 401k balance isn't worth what your statement says. You could lose thousands of dollars to taxes, and those distributions can impact other areas of your retirement like Social Security and Medicare. Could a Roth IRA conversion be of help to you? You've probably heard of Roth conversions, but it can be confusing. Should you convert all at once or over time? Where should you pay the taxes from? How do you know for sure? Get our free personalized Roth Blueprint analysis today to find out exactly what makes sense for you. Your Roth Blueprint could potentially increase your lifetime wealth by thousands of dollars. So get your free Roth Blueprint today. Text Blueprint to 844-867-8335. That's Blueprint to 844-867-8335. Or go to MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Mitch Lyons here, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth, where we create your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement. I'm here with Tiger legend Kirk Gibson, who we are proud to support and partner with on the newly opened Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's Wellness.
Thanks, Mitch. We appreciate your support, and we are excited to have recently opened the center in Farmington Hills. It provides exercise therapy and educational programs that are helping the Parkinson's community, just like Mitch Lyons Wealth helps improve the quality for their clients' retirements. This center helps improve the quality of life for people with Parkinson's.
And Gibby, the best part of all is that access to the center is available to the Parkinson's community free of charge, right?
That's right, absolutely free of charge for people with Parkinson's and their care partners.
You hit a couple of the most famous home runs in Major League history, Gibby, but I feel that your greatest hit will be the positive impact the Kirk Gibson Center is making in the fight against Parkinson's.
Mitch, since my diagnosis, I get up every day and focus on winning that day. This center encourages others to do the same.
Awesome, Gibby. To learn more, go to KirkGibsonCenter.org.
Motown Legends. TNT together again. Temptation. Or Tops. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $55 and on sale now at the box office and etix.com. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops together again.
Where are you watching the Tigers this year? Superfly Hayes here for Detroit Sportsnet. Sign up like the Ute Show did with the Detroit Sportsnet Tigers Wings package. Subscription info at tigers.com and MLB.com.
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
I mean, it's all, Donovan's very intelligent. I mean, it's all, Donovan.
Okay, back with you here on X's and Bros, Monday through Friday, 6 until 9. I want to get to some texts for sure. Freddie is always coming through. He's a champion for us. We always appreciate it. Before we do that, though, Tigers lose last night 4-0 to the Red Sox. Here's part of the issue. It's not just the injuries. We know about all the injuries and how this is tough to overcome. This is, you wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy here on what's going on. Well, maybe you would. Boston and New York, maybe they would. I don't know. But not many teams could ever overcome this. All right. It's one thing losing your pitchers and a few guys. You can overcome Gleyber Torres and Javier Baez. You can. It's the pitchers that you're going to have a hard time. Look, only the Giants have more 9-inning scoreless stretches than the Tigers this season. All right. Tigers have 10. The Giants have 11. All right. So you're having all kinds of problems with this team in a lot of different ways. And, of course, the injuries are only part of it, all right? Because guys are collectively going into a slump right now. If you looked at the Tigers' medical update from a couple of days ago, it's Baez with a right ankle sprain, Bo Brisky, a left abductor strain, Bailey Horn, Jackson Jobe, Parker Meadows, Troy Melton, Casey Mize, Reese Olson, Connor Siebold, so what? Tarek Skubal, Trey Sweeney, so what? Justin Verlander, Will Vest. Tough to overcome, man. You know what else is tough to overcome? When collectively these guys are struggling. Doesn't mean they're going to be like this the rest of the year. Every player is going through this. Matt Chapman right now for San Francisco stinks. It happens. I'm not saying you got to accept it. It's just in baseball, more than anything else, it takes you and I on this, the waves, constantly. Kevin McGonigal is 3 for his last 23. His on-base percentage for the month, it's a small sample size. Not worried about him, just giving you numbers. His on-base percentage for May is 182. He's 21, okay? He's a rookie who's tearing up the league. He's phenomenal. But he has hit a spat right now where it's going to be challenging for him. Perhaps he's gone through this, never at this level, obviously. Perhaps he's gone through it somewhere in his high school or minor league career. This is going to push him. This will test him. McGonigal, 3 for 23. Spencer Torkelson, this is the second elongated slump for him this year. 2 for 20 with 11 strikeouts. Kerry Carpenter, 2 for 15. On the year, he's hitting 210. I'm waiting for texts and phone calls for people who say he should play every day in right field. That's what we got last year. I said there's a reason he's not in right field every single day. If A.J. Hinch wanted him in the lineup every single day, he'd play him in the. If he thought he'd win every single day he was in the lineup, he'd put him in the lineup every day. He's not an everyday player. He's really good against righties, struggles mightily against lefties, and he is a below-average right fielder. Those are facts. I know you like him. I like him too. I like him a lot. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and I mean that. He's sincere. He's who you'd want your daughter to date. And he's got great power, and I love him in there against righties. But there was a 2-year message, maybe longer, where people are like, you got to play him every day. He's got to play against lefties, Shep. That's what I heard from people. I said, I wouldn't do that. Shep, come on. You got to be kidding me. How come Riley Green gets in there against lefties, but Kerry Carpenter doesn't? It's just not fair. You got to play him every single day. My whole point to them was that's not a good idea. I want him with his advantage against righties, but I don't want him against lefties. I think you're wrong there. Look at the numbers. Numbers do not lie. Lefties, he's hitting 202. He's got a slug of 324. Righties, he's hitting 273 and a slug of 532. Okay? occasionally you're going to see him turn on one and get one against lefties. He's got 7 homers in his career against lefties. But there's a reason that he doesn't really get those type of opportunities, because he's just, it's a difficult matchup for him. Okay. And when they compare to Riley Green, I try to tell them Riley Green stays in there against lefties. He's a 250 hitter against left-handed pitching. He's got a slug of close to 400 against lefties. So there's a huge difference. Anyway, so Carpenter 2 for 15, hitting 210 on the year. Dingler, 8 for his last 37, hitting 216. Those 4 guys, vital to this team's offensive success.
And vital right now. I mean, with all the injuries and everything else leading up, if you got to lean on some of these guys that are healthy on the offensive side of the ball, because right now your pitching staff's pretty banged up, and even your position players, you're missing a couple people. Like, you probably need more from these guys right now than you have at any point, this year.
Which position player are you missing the most? Javier Baez, Gleyber Torres, Parker Meadows. Those are the guys, right?
I still would probably say Gleyber Torres, because I feel like at the end of the day, he can get you a walk, and he will get you the sacrifice fly, or at least move people around. I feel like sometimes this lineup needs that. But that's, I don't know. Maybe Parker Meadows just I feel like they've been missing him for a while, though, because his bat hasn't exactly, been there even when he's been in the lineup. So yeah, it's hard to say which one is the most, I guess. But I'm more coming at this from the fact that they were supposed to lean in their pitching a lot this season. It felt like, based on what they signed and everything coming in. And I feel like right now you have to get a lot of these guys in the middle of their lineup.
No doubt. Well said. I would agree with you with Gleyber Torres. My frustration with him is he's limited at second base. He's not a really good fielding second baseman, and he doesn't hit for a whole lot of power. But he's a right-handed stick. He gets on base. He gives you better at-bats than Baez does.
Yeah, again,
Meadows would be last for me. I think Matt Vierling plays a really good center field.
Yeah, and he's had some moments too.
Yeah, and if you can't play Vierling in center field, and it's a right-handed stick that you need, although it doesn't have a lot of power. I think the most homers he's hit in a season is 12. It's tough to replay. I'm not giddy about Wencel Perez in center field. So that's where Baez would be second for me. And then Parker Meadows. But either way, yeah, they're missing it. It doesn't matter whether those guys are in the lineup or not. The 4 guys I just mentioned, McGonigal, Torkelson, Carpenter, and Dingler, vital to this team's offensive success. Now, so is Riley Green, but Riley Green's pulling his weight. And you may not think that. Last night he had a double, had a leadoff double in the second. He had 2 hits, 2 of Detroit's 4 hits. Green is the 8th player in franchise history, according to Tigers PR, to reach 200 extra base hits in his career before the age of 26. 8th player in franchise history. Here are the other 7. Ty Cobb, Hank Greenberg, Al Kaline, Willie Horton, Aurelio Rodriguez, Travis Fryman, Nick Castellanos. All of those guys, outside of Aurelio Rodriguez, who I liked. Great defensive player, like a human vacuum cleaner at third base. Offensively, nope. But I did enjoy watching him play as a kid, because I thought he was a really, really good defensive player and had a really good arm. War number 4. Anyway, that's pretty good. So Riley Green is carrying his weight. All right, when we come back, some text for sure, and the Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question. I know, seems a little soap opera-ish, but it's something we're going to dive into, because there's some serious issues out there. And what do you do? We get to all that and more coming up here on X's and Bros, brought to you this hour by our friends at Meyer.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Huge here with a message for all the golfers all across Michigan. Have you played at Crystal Mountain? Now, the resort is located in Thompsonville, Michigan, 2.5 hours northwest of Grand Rapids. They feature Mountain Ridge and Betsy Valley, 2 renowned 18-hole championship layouts, incredible accommodations, food, beverages, and more. It's time for you to book a stay and play package at Crystal Mountain today. Go to crystalmountain.com. That's crystalmountain.com. Make sure you listen weekly to our Moving Ferris Forward interviews with Ferris President Bill Pink and other leaders who are moving Ferris forward. Find out more about Big Rapids and Ferris and what they have to offer at ferris.edu.
Okay, back with you here on X's and Bros, 18 after the hour, 8:35. Excited to talk more about Strikeout Baseball in Lansing. What a cool venture this is. And the man who thought of it, designed it, backed it, Jeff Lazaros joins us. He's the founder of Strikeout Baseball, joins us at 8:35 today, trying to expand this program, and it's great for kids. Let me get to some texts. Our good friend Freddie always helps us out. Shep, I'm going to be that get off my lawn guy. I will admit, other than Detroit sports, I don't watch as much as I used to. But when I turn on the Sixers and see Embiid is out again for a sore ankle, please stop telling me and making me read he's one of the best big men ever. What an embarrassment. All that money for years. Get rid of him. Yeah, Joel Embiid, I don't think he's played 7 consecutive games.
That's correct. Yeah,
for
that's that.
For how many years is it? He hasn't played 20.
It's at least like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I was going to say 2023.
Yeah,
I think it's the last time. Here's this injury stuff. I mean, in 2018, orbital fracture, concussion. 2019, illness, knee tendonitis. 2020, he was in the COVID bubble, right? 2021, torn meniscus. 2022, orbital fracture, torn thumb ligament. 2023, knee sprain. 2024, Bell's palsy. 2026, appendicitis. 1 week before the playoffs. He's unreliable. Didn't play last night in a Knicks comeback win. He's unreliable. And it's not all on him, but I don't what's that old saying? Availability is a big asset too. He's never available. Seems like he is never available. Let me ask you this. When's the last time do you think Joel Embiid played over 40 games in a regular season?
I would go back to probably the same time, like 2023, 2024.
Yeah. Joel Embiid has had 3 consecutive seasons of under 40 games played. He's played 38 this year, 19 last year, 39 the year before. The last time he played more than 40 games, you're right, was 2023 when he played 66 games. He has never played more than 68 games. In fact, you remember when he was the MVP of the league, he played just 1 game over the minimum to be up for the award, 66. Shep, then I turn on the Timberwolves. It's the playoffs, second round as well, and you have an alternate jersey. Gimmick in the playoffs, too. Sports is failing themselves. You do sound like old guy. You do sound like get off my lawn guy. That's okay. I don't like it either. I don't like the, again, this makes us sound old. Andy shaking his head vigorously going, I like it. I can't stand the NBA Cup floors that make me wear sunglasses while watching the game in the dark. I don't like the alternate jerseys unless you have a crappy jersey to start. I love the Pistons red, white, and blue jerseys. They're white uniforms with the red and blue piping, and I love their blue road jerseys. I think they're the best in basketball, and I mean that. I could do away with all the alternate jerseys. I don't need them. But they sell. I get why leagues do it. NBA is not the only team that does it. Do you like the Motor City Monday night jerseys that the Tigers put on that look like you should be at Liberty Park playing softball? Do you like that?
I'll pass on those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass on those too. But this is what people do. Shep, you watch hockey playoffs. You see Montreal and Buffalo advancing. Former Wings GMs like Jim Nill and Pat Verbeek making the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive stuff. Now, Jim Nill, his team got bounced in the first round, but he's a great general manager. And Pat Verbeek's done a great job in Anaheim. And for them to beat Edmonton in 6 games and now tie up their series last night, really impressive stuff. The best team, though, in the West is going to come, I believe, from the Colorado-Minnesota series. Shep, Colt Keith, I hear about this guy's offense all the time. What offense? We already know about his defense. Another boy wonder move that hasn't worked, giving him the money without seeing him in the majors. Well, they did the same thing with Kevin McGonigal. Do you have a problem with that? Most people said no, they don't have a problem with it because of how quickly he started. I think Cole Keith can hit. I think he's a good hitter. I don't have a problem with the contract. My issue with Cole Keith has always been, and with the Tigers, my problem has been, where do you play him? You can't argue with the batting average, all right? In 33 games this year, Cole Keith is hitting .327. His on-base percentage is .370. His slug is not there, but he's never really been that guy. He's not going to be a home run guy. He's hit 13 homers in each of the first 2 years. Now, he hasn't homered yet this year, but I don't expect him to be a home run guy. That's why I don't like him at third base. Third base generally is where you get power. You want power from first, second, and usually your corners. Whether that's fair or not, I mean, that's a lot of times what happens. I can live with certain things, but Cole Keith's got a hit, and he is hitting this year. So it's not fair to say that he's not hitting, because he is. On the other hand, I don't know what his best position is. And maybe more of a concern is I don't know if the Tigers know what his best position is. It's probably second base, but they didn't like his footwork. I don't like him at third base. I don't think he's got the reactionary movement and the reaction time and everything else to play third base. They don't have a third baseman, you guys. This has been my problem for a long time. And I know people look at me like I'm a sourpuss. That's fine. I said, and I tweeted this out last night, I haven't liked this team's infield defense for 2 years. Each of the last 2 years. People got caught up in, oh, man, they made the playoffs for a second year in a row and all this other stuff. And I'm like, their defense stinks. I don't have anybody at third base. Javier Baez is average at best at shortstop. Gleyber Torres is not a good fielding second baseman. And Spencer Torkelson is average to below average at first base. It's hard to win that way. You've got to hit and you need pitching. And they've gotten really good pitching. I want you to ask yourself this question as you look at the Tigers. Ask yourself this question. Give me the guy who's a Gold Glove player. He doesn't have to win a Gold Glove. Who's the caliber Gold Glove player on that infield? Nobody. There's nobody. Don't give me Javier Baez back when he played for the Cubs. I'm talking about right now. There's 2 Gold Glove, well, obviously Dylan Dingler, but outside of that, Riley Green's Gold Glove material. Parker Meadows could be if he played enough games, but he's not good enough offensively to stay in there every single day. So you have 2 guys who are very good, dare I say, elite defensively. Dylan Dingler, who's excellent at blocking balls in the dirt. Excellent. And I know people love the throwing arm. He's got a great arm. Last night was not good. I mean, hell, they stole 3 bases off him. It's not always on the catcher, but they stole 3 bases. You got 2 guys. Maybe McGonigal becomes that. Maybe in the future, Max Anderson becomes that. Maybe in the future, Bryce Rayner becomes that. Right now, they do not have very good defensive players. I know we want to get caught up in the on-base and the slug and the OPS plus, and then, of course, the pitching. I understand all of that. Defensively, they are unreliable.
Well, yeah, look at the last couple of nights. I mean, it started off the Fromber start in a bad way. Obviously, a lot more of that, was on Fromber in the end. But and then, last night, another key mistake. So when your margin for error is a lot smaller, it's definitely showing up right now. The defense isn't playing very well.
That's exactly it. Your margin for error. Okay. I don't know what is the most important thing you look at from defensively standpoint. But when you get 21 fielding errors, that's an issue. That's a serious problem for your team. You're right there. You rank 23rd in the league in that category. And if you're not overcoming it with great pitching and hitting, it's going to be really hard. And last night it cost you. Quick timeout, more of your text on the other side. We're brought to you this hour by Meyer on X's and Bros on a Thursday morning.
Huge here with a message for all the golfers all across Michigan. Have you played at Crystal Mountain? Now, the resort is located in Thompsonville, Michigan, 2.5 hours northwest of Grand Rapids. They feature Mountain Ridge and Betsy Valley, two renowned 18-hole championship layouts, incredible accommodations, food, beverages, and more. It's time for you to book a stay-and-play package at Crystal Mountain today. Go to crystalmountain.com. That's crystalmountain.com.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
Where are you watching the Tigers this year? Superfly Hayes here for Detroit Sports Net. Sign up like the Ute Show did with the Detroit Sports Net Tigers Wings package. Subscription info at tigers.com and MLB.com.
Motown Legends, TNT, together again. Temptation. 4 Tops, Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $55 and on sale now at the box office and etix.com. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops, together again.
35 after the hour. Welcome back, X's and Bros. Always nice to be with you. From David, who's streaming us on YouTube, X, Facebook, whatever. Shep, you guys do a great job. I love listening to you guys in the morning. You keep my attention. Thank you, David. We appreciate that. Andy and I are very much appreciative of that because we know you got a lot of different choices. So we hope you can tell your friends, and we always welcome negative feedback too. If you got a problem with something, we're here for you all the time. I have no issue with that whatsoever. We're hoping every day. Andy and I talk about this every day. We hope that we can bring a little levity to some things, educate you a little bit, try to keep you smiling. We think of it this way: you and I are in a bar, Dave, and we're having a beer and we're talking sports. That's what we try to do. I hope we come through on that. And we love the text and we love the feedback. Here's another text. Shep, how is it all these other Detroit teams are a mess, except the Pistons, who 2 years ago lost 28 in a row and a complete laughingstock to the owner and to the attendance? Well, I guess one word I would say is superstar. If you think about it, of the 4 Detroit teams, who has the best player? The best player of what they are. All right? Cade Cunningham's the best player of the Pistons. Any argument? Better not be. Okay? Otherwise, you get punched in the liver. So he's considered a top 5 player in the league. Is that fair, Andy? Top 5 in the NBA?
Yeah, I think he's only garnering more of that respect right now.
Is there a top 5 player on the Red Wings?
No. Well, Mo Sider. Yep.
Mo Sider might be a top 5 defenseman. I'd say he's a top 10. I'd probably say he's
definitely a top 10. I would definitely put him in the top 10. But yeah.
Anybody on the Tigers a top 5 player? Kevin McGonigal is right now. All right.
It would be Terry Skubal, I guess, if he wasn't
for
injured,
sure.
But yeah,
for sure. And I would say Riley Green's a top 5 left fielder.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
At his position.
Right?
Yep.
Lions have a top 5 player.
Probably Jahmyr Gibbs, running back, I would say.
Absolutely.
In there. Yeah,
I would say he's
even.
second.
Yeah.
You would say he was second to Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that's
we
fair.
could have a good debate. Jonathan Taylor, a few other guys.
You could definitely
that's what I would say. I would say he's second to Bijan Robinson going into this year. And I think his numbers are going to go up.
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is in the top 5 of his position as well. I think you got to say that.
Penny Sewell's top 5.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell's top 5.
Yep, I agree with that.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Probably,
close.
Yeah, I'd say top 10 is definitely more safe there. He's definitely around that 5 though.
All right.
I don't have them all off the top of my head. I'm just thinking about defensive ends. There's definitely a few of them.
Okay, I was going to say. I mean that's interesting. I mean, you would say Myles Garrett. You would say who else? From a sack standpoint, that's his job. His job is to get to.
Yeah, no.
Right?
When you break it down like that, it's like I can't think of them anymore. But obviously,
Micah Parsons.
Yep, that's
because a lot of times here's what happens. Our mind is in baseball mode, right?
Yeah.
Will Anderson Jr. Texans.
Yeah.
Okay. Aiden Hutchinson was 4th last year in sacks. So if I said top 5, that's his job. If you and I agree, that's his
top
job.
5. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Lions have a ton of them. That's the reason the Lions are pretty good. Jared Goff, you might be pushing it a little bit there.
Top 5?
Yeah.
I think you're pushing it a little bit there, but
okay.
I definitely wouldn't say he's out to the top 10, but
okay. Because Jared Goff was second in yards and second in touchdowns a year ago.
For me, it's great. Obviously, it's I feel like when people do these debates, even if it's just you and I feel like it's it's a little bit of eye test too and what you feel.
Sure.
But
sure.
Yeah, it's statistic wise for quarterback is just they do so much, that's why.
But if you're number 2 in yards, number 2 in touchdowns, number 5 in completion percentage, what more? If I'm the player, I'm asking Andy McDonald, what more do I have to do? And with all due respect to Andy McDonald and Matt Shepard and a bunch of other people, eye test. Who's eye test?
No, I totally get it. I'm not that, I didn't come on this show like when football season was going on, so we haven't had a lot of these talks yet. But and obviously the Jared Goff debate is one of the big.
It's huge.
It's one of the big things. I'm definitely not the guy that hates on him. Other people in my life would tell me I'm the guy that supports him more than other stuff. So I'm in the camp that I think he's good. I just I wonder. I'm like everybody else. I wonder how good and how much he can really do at the end of the day with his mobility being limited. I guess is the one thing.
Sure, I get that. I do. I guess the argument to that for me has always been Matt Stafford's not real mobile. Kyler Murray is. You want Jared Goff or Kyler Murray?
You want Jared Goff, and that's why I always bring that back to people. I'm like, well, do you really need a mobile quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Is that really
how mobile is Sam Darnold?
Exactly. Exactly.
Seriously.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, Brock Purdy's mobile. Joe Burrow's not. He's more mobile than Jared Goff, but I wouldn't call him a mobile quarterback. Would you?
No, and
he got his team to a Super Bowl.
And you mentioned Matt Stafford. I mean, a lot of people would argue that the Seattle Rams game last year was, arguably the Super Bowl if they weren't playing in the same side of the division. So
Justin Herbert's more mobile than Jared Goff. I wouldn't call him a mobile quarterback.
What has Justin Herbert done though? Like, what has he?
Exactly.
What has he won?
He's never won a playoff game.
Yep.
I'm just saying. I believe that's the knock on Goff, and I get it. And they're right that he's not that mobile.
And I mean, the one thing
you can win in the NFL, and this has always been the case. If you were looking for the most mobile quarterback to win all the time, Fran Tarkenton would have 4 rings instead of 4 Super Bowl losses. All right, or maybe it's 3 because Joe Cap may have been the quarterback in one of those. But either way, he would have had a championship, and he doesn't. Right. Took a while for Steve Young to get his, and he was probably one of the most mobile quarterbacks. Michael Vick doesn't have a championship. Randall Cunningham doesn't have a championship. Those guys are mobile, all right? It's
Lamar
not
Jackson can't even make a Super Bowl, much less win a playoff game consistently.
It's not the be all end all, but I understand where people are coming from because they've seen guys like Patrick Mahomes win it. They forget that Terry Bradshaw won and Joe Montana won, and they weren't mobile per se. I mean, Montana could run for sure. Better than Bradshaw and better than Goff. But we're enamored with this stuff. Oh, my God, Jalen Hurts has done it. Patrick Mahomes has done it. Josh Allen. Oh, sorry, Josh Allen hasn't played for a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson. Oh, sorry, he hasn't played for a Super Bowl. You know who has? Jared Goff. I know he had the MVP. I know he had Todd Gurley, our Offensive Player of the Year. He's got some good players around him. He's not going to be the liability you think he is if you give him some time. And you could say that about a lot of different quarterbacks.
The best quarterback of all time had cement in his shoes with Tom Brady. So, I mean, you can definitely win that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, system, whatever. But Goff is in a pretty good system. I mean, when they had it going right, it seemed like it was working well for him too. So,
yeah. So the bottom line is where we were going with this is that the difference with the Pistons is they have a superstar. They have one of the best in the world. In basketball, one player can make that big of a difference.
Absolutely.
It's hard for you to do that in football when your offensive line is getting you sacked 36 times in a season.
Much more of a team sport.
And last year, quite honestly, was 38 for Jared Goff, the most in his career. It's hard for him to be effective with that. In football, it is the ultimate team sport. You need more people to help you. Hockey, you can have the best defenseman in the world. If you're goalie and good and you guys aren't scoring goals, you're in deep trouble. Right? In baseball, you have the best pitcher on the mound in the world. But if you're not getting him runs, it's going to be a real problem. Nolan Ryan was a dominant pitcher. A lot of his teams weren't great. I liked Al Oliver for Texas. You need more than that. Okay? Jim Sundberg was a really good defensive catcher. Wasn't great offensively. So that's the difference, I think, with the Pistons. You sprinkle in a guy here or there to add to a superstar. You could argue you need another one for sure. But that's how you get it done. In basketball, it's easier to acquire those types of things.
And Tobias Harris is not, I'm not going to call him a superstar or anything, but he's just played up to that role. It feels like here in the playoffs. Like he's played that second scorer role where he's put in a lot of numbers and helped out. And that's shown how much that's helped Cade, right? Like he's been able to be on full display with that, I feel like.
From Joe, thanks for watching via the stream. Is Cade better than Grant Hill at some point in their careers? I would say not yet. Grant Hill's the most underrated superstar this town has ever had. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, not enough people remember Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. They were Hall of Fame players. They were great players. Yeah, Grant Hill, because his teams weren't very good, and because they didn't have great players around him, or another really good player, Jerry Stackhouse, but those two didn't get along all that great. Christian Laettner was not that. All right, sorry, Judd Bushler, that's not happening. Grant Hill was. If Grant Hill had stayed healthy, it's sort of like Billy Sims. If Grant Hill had stayed healthy, he would be in the conversation with the LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. He was that good. He was that talented. He could do everything. He could shoot the three. He could back you down. He could front you and cross you over and take it to the rack. He was good inside and outside. He's good defensively. Played defense. Look at his numbers against Chicago. He kicked the crap out of Scottie Pippen. It was great. He was a great player. Cade Cunningham will pass him. I don't think Grant Hill's the greatest Piston of all time. Isaiah Thomas is. That's the big question. Will Cade Cunningham someday, if stays healthy, surpass Isaiah Lord Thomas as the greatest Piston of all time? Because I'm going to give Cade Cunningham some time. As of right now, he's not as good as Grant Hill. But eventually, he probably will be. Good question, Joe. From Mike. Shep, thank you for respectful information that I can have on the radio listening to on my way to high school, or to school rather, without the hot takes and the daily listener interview from Cadillac. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay, that's from Mike Mitchell. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that very much. And thanks for listening to us on our affiliate there in Cadillac, WKD, the Ticket 93.7 FM. I hope you can use some of the information that we provide, and then you use it with your conversations with your friends. So that's good stuff. Speaking of the Pistons, I love the attitude, and I know a lot of people don't like this guy. There's a certain number of players, I think, who are becoming a little polarizing in Detroit and the state of Michigan. There are certain guys on the Tigers who always have been. Casey Mize, Spencer Torkelson. That comes with the territory when you're 1-1. Jalen Duren entered that this year in the playoffs. He became better during the regular season than I think a lot of people expected. But then in the first 5 games against Orlando, people started to question a little bit, and rightfully so. I get it. But Duren said this the other day on self-belief. A lot of times you learn so much from coaches and players about not just sports, but about how it can pertain to you in business and in life, I think. He said, I never cared about what people think about me, what people say about me. That's what Duren said. I think players do hear it. And I think it eventually, at some point, it does bother you. You can sit there and say that all you want, but eventually it does get you a little bit. I'm not saying it consumes you, but it does get you a little bit. Full transparency, I was calling Tigers baseball. Excuse me. Not everybody liked my work. You're not going to please everybody all the time. But, the personal shots, the certain things that I did, I wouldn't say it got to me, but, you take note of it. You're like, I wonder why people don't like me in this situation. You know what I mean? And then you watch other broadcasters and you sit there and say to yourself, well, wait a minute, those guys do the same thing. They wait till the ball's over the fence. They missed a call. It happens, right? But it seemed to be accentuated, and it got to a point where I'm like, geez, I mean, what the hell? What do I need to do to make everybody like me? And you can't look at life that way. You're just not going to happen. So I think Duren probably hears it a little bit, but he doesn't let it consume him. That's one thing. You can't let it consume you because it's hard to get back out there. So he says, because I know who I am at the end of the day. I know what I can be. And I know I'm just getting started. I know I have so much more room to grow. That's not even funny. I'm nowhere near what I can be and what I will be. So what people say, how they say it, that blank doesn't bother me. I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. Like, no matter how much we complain or, whatever it is. And I mean, it's our job to talk about it, right? But
it is our job to talk, but you don't have to get personal.
No, exactly.
You
The
can
personal
say-
stuff's insane. Yeah,
it is insane. And to judge the judgment thing is a difficult thing, right? How it's to each his own. I'm not saying Andy's right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. Are you able to sit back and say, wait a minute, I'm being too knee-jerk reaction in this situation? You got a guy who's 22. Is that an excuse? No, it's not, because he's played a lot of basketball. You've got a guy who is very skilled, both sides of the floor. Doesn't mean he's a complete product, right? You've got a guy who has grown from his first couple of years where he was nothing but a garbage collector. Inside, misses, put back. Alley-oops, dunks. Guy misplays a defensive situation. You get it, you turn, and you dunk it home. He has grown his game a little bit this year. I am not making the argument that he's a max guy. I'm just telling you, there are certain parts of all of our lives where we evolve. How willing are you to give certain athletes or coaches or managers the grace period to evolve? That's up to you individually. If you're going to see a guy who's in the first month of his career and you're going to say get rid of him, I think that's ridiculous. If you're going to see a guy 5 years into his career and he's not getting better at certain situations where he needs to get better, and you're going to say he's still young, that's ridiculous too. So I can see it. I have gone to bat for certain players in Detroit for a long time, whether it be Spencer Torkelson, Jalen Duren in this situation, okay, Dylan Larkin with the Red Wings. I'm just picking out a few guys, recent guys, but it's been more in the past. Everybody has to reevaluate. Spencer Torkelson needs to be better, period. He's got enough at-bats under his belt. He's got enough games under his belt where he should be a little bit more consistent. I'm not asking him to bat .330. My expectation isn't 50 bombs and 120 RBIs. I don't expect him to limit his strikeouts to a Tony Gwynn-like 40 per season. Okay? But I do think it's fair to say that the 2 for 20 slumps need to be fewer in a season, and the on-base / slugging needs to be a lot higher. That's not being outrageous for a guy who's had as much experience as he's had. He's gone through trials. He's gone through tribulations. He's come out the other end of it. At times he's been really good. Other times he has not been. He needs to be better. I am not going to do this with Jalen Duren yet at age 22. And I know it can be frustrating for people because this is I'll use the phrase, even though I hate it, window of opportunity. You get 60 wins during the regular season. You got a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Legitimate chance. And he needs to be a big part of it. So he's got to be better in the playoffs. Yes. That doesn't mean I'm throwing him away if he can't get it together in this series against Cleveland. And he was good in game 1, 15-15. That's just me. That's my philosophy. Maybe you want more from what you're getting. I think he's going to grow. I think he's going to get better. And I think he's going to be an absolute stud in this league. Quick timeout. And then we're back with more of X's and Bros after this. We're brought to you this hour by our friends at Meyer.
You've worked hard for decades saving in pre-tax retirement plans like 401ks and IRAs, saving on taxes now. But as your retirement now approaches, you're going to get taxed at rates you have no control over. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth. Your 401k balance isn't worth what your statement says. You could lose thousands of dollars to taxes, and those distributions can impact other areas of your retirement like Social Security and Medicare. Could a Roth IRA conversion be of help to you? You've probably heard of Roth conversions, but it can be confusing. Should you convert all at once or over time? Where should you pay the taxes from? How do you know for sure? Get our free personalized Roth Blueprint analysis today to find out exactly what makes sense for you. Your Roth Blueprint could potentially increase your lifetime wealth by thousands of dollars. So get your free Roth Blueprint today. Text Blueprint to 844-867-8335. That's Blueprint to 844-867-8335. Or go to MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Motown Legends, TNT, together again. Temptation. For Tops, Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $55 and on sale now at the box office at etix.com. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops, together again.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
I'm trying to get downhill, and a friend of mine got fined for talking about flop, so I'm not gonna try to double down. But I mean, like, I feel like that's what I got to do at this point. I feel like me getting to the basket's got to relate to something. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
That's a fine line, isn't it? Seriously, that's Donovan Mitchell. Really good player for Cleveland. Some people don't necessarily like him. They feel like his coach is fired, but he's talking about his inability to get to the free throw line the other night. He only went there twice. I would remind him James Harden went 9 times. Okay. If there's that old cliche in basketball that if you're the more aggressive team, you're going to get to the free throw line. Detroit went there 35 times. Cleveland went there only 16 times, made 15 of those. Here's my fear for tonight, Andy. My fear is that referees recognize this stuff, and they're going to try and make it up. This is the problem with the league, seriously, that suddenly it tilts one way, and then it's going to go back the other because you've got a guy complaining about it. Now, that didn't necessarily happen in the Boston series. The friend of his who got fined, he's referring to as Jaylen Brown, who got fined $50,000 for saying that referees are out to get him. My words, not his. That referees are targeting him. Not all of them on takes, by the way. Here's the thing you have to remember. And I think it's wearing thin from Jaylen Brown. And here's why I think it wears thin. For a guy to complain that they have an agenda against him, dude, you were 6th in the league in free throw attempts per game. You were 4th in the league in free throw attempts per 48 minutes per game. Therein lies the difference. You don't think you're getting treated like a superstar? Let me give you the guys per 48 minutes who go to the line more often than you. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard. Andy, what do they all have in common? OKC is led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
The Lakers are led by Luka Doncic. The Clippers are led by Kawhi Leonard. Boston is led by Jaylen Brown for the most part. I mean, Jason Tatum was hurt later in the series against Philadelphia all season long. It's been Jaylen Brown's leadership and the reason they were the number 2 best team in the Eastern Conference. They're all stars, okay? Don't tell me. And the reason they're all stars is because they score, but also because they're aggressive and they go to the hole a lot and welcome the physical contact. You know who was 5th in free throw attempts per 48 minutes, Andy? Who was 5th? Who do you think? It's a guy we've been talking about. Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No, I was trying to think. I was like, I don't know, but yeah, I should have probably known that.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell was number 5. What do these guys expect? How many fouls is enough? Do you think every single time against a really good defensive team like Detroit that is 2nd in the league in defensive efficiency, do you really think that they built their reputation and those numbers off guys who foul all the time? No.
And I mean,
they have the best help defense. They have the best perimeter defense. And they have some of the best interior defense in the league. Stewart doesn't need to foul. Duren doesn't need to foul. Thompson doesn't need to foul. And by the way, Cade Cunningham doesn't need to foul either. He is perhaps one of the most underrated parts in all of basketball, especially for the Pistons. It's Cade Cunningham. In the playoffs so far this year, in 8 games, Cade Cunningham, when those players are being guarded by Cunningham, they're shooting 38%. They're shooting 8.5% below their season average. He is more than just an offensive player. He's a very good defensive player, too. He's not elite like Asar Thompson. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not telling you he alters things like Victor Wembanyama. Nope. But I'm telling you, while we get caught up in 45 and 38 points and 32 points and all the things that he's doing right now in the playoffs, and it's fair, look at defensively what he's doing against opponents. I gave credit to Franz Wagner in the first series and what he did against Cade Cunningham. You've got to give the same credit to Cade Cunningham when he's guarding certain players and they're shooting 8.5% below their season average. It's only fair. It's an underrated part of basketball right now and what he's done. Sorry, Andy, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, and in this series, that's what I was going to say. Like that play just the other night, like, one-on-one situation with James Harden. Obviously, Harden didn't have the best game, but that steal that Cade had from him to kind of get a fast break going the other way, that was at a big part of the game. Like, he's kind of just done that. It feels like people just don't pay attention to it as much because he does so much else with his game. But yeah, he's definitely been a huge part of it with his defense too. It matters just as much.
Yeah, there's no question.
And yeah, also on the flopping part of it too, just from my end, from being there the other night, it seemed like, I mean, every time Harden got to the hole, he couldn't figure out what to do. I know we're talking about Donovan Mitchell, but every time he got to the hole, it looked like he was literally just looking for a foul every time he went up with the ball.
Absolutely.
That's how I felt about it every single time. But there was one time from our vantage point, he didn't even angle the ball towards the hoop. He just like tried to go into the player and get the call, and they just didn't call it. I mean, it was really obvious they were just trying to do that. The whole game
that's my hope, that they can continue to do that and they stay consistent with it. Our phone number on the Meyer hotline is 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. Text us Sports Radio 21,000. Join us in the chat like a lot of people have. Tom, thank you. He says, great job. Where'd Trent go? Trent moved on to different things, and we wish him the best. We're back with more after this on X's and Bros.
In the Den. It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a new day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, your getaway reimagined. This is Matt Shepard. Wednesday night was another disappointment for the Tigers, getting swept by the Red Sox, who, by the way, had come to town losing 4 of their previous 5 games. But there were a couple of bright spots. Riley Green and Jack Flaherty. Green collected a couple of hits, including a double to lead off the second, meaning he became only the 8th player in franchise history to reach 200 extra base hits with the Tigers before turning 26 years old. He joined Ty Cobb, Hank Greenberg, Al Kaline, Willie Horton, Aurelio Rodriguez, Travis Fryman, and Nick Castellanos on that list. Flaherty, despite suffering the loss, struck out 10 batters, his first double-digit strikeout performance since August of 2024 while he pitched for the Dodgers. When your team has lost 3 straight games and lost 3 of its last 4 series, you search for anything positive, right?
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
What's up, Michigan? You're listening to my good friend Shep. The huge show is coming up later today at 3, right
What
here
is it
on the
again?
Michigan Sports Network.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. I just did. That's all right. Well.
I mean, you have to, right? Like, young guys don't develop, or young players don't develop if they don't feel that belief and trust in them. And if you're just yanking them, pulling them in and out, like, they don't get the opportunities to grow. And it's, there's mistakes that are made, because of lack of effort, or mistakes that are made because lack of attention to detail, that you have to have consequences. But he didn't have those mistakes. It was just a matter of him settling in. I thought he was playing hard. He was trying to do the right things. But it was just a matter of him growing and playoff basketball. And you go back to that series, and he got better every single game. I think it's carried over to last night.
Yeah, JB Bickerstaff talking about Dennis Jenkins there, who, full disclosure, I wanted benched. Didn't want to see him anymore. Didn't want to see him bringing the ball up, shade to the right side of the floor, constantly dribbling. Everybody stand around and go like this. Boy, you can dribble. That's not what you want. This isn't Isaiah Thomas with the Pistons in 1982. Okay, where he and Kelly Tripucka were the only thing worth watching in their home gray uniforms. Which didn't make much sense to me, but anyway, Dennis Jenkins, you've got other players on the floor. He grew. JB Bickerstaff, good for him. He didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to you. He didn't listen to a lot of people. I mean, this might be a different conversation had they lost the series. But he didn't listen to us. He stayed true to who he thought was going to help him best. Got a 2-year got an extension out of it. Was it 2 years, Andy? I can't recall exactly. But he got an extension out of it. He got a win out of the series, and they should beat Cleveland. Should go to the Eastern Conference Finals. In all likelihood, playing New York. New York a winner last night, in case you missed it. Welcome back, X's and Bros, Monday through Friday, 6 until 9. The thing we didn't mention in the update, by the way, was the Toledo getting rid of Gabe Alvarez as their manager for sending an inappropriate, what he called an inappropriate joke to a female staffer.
Before we get too into that, Dennis Jenkins says 2 years, 7.8 mil. So.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking about JB Bickerstaff. He worked his way into a contract.
Yes, sorry.
But you're right with Dennis Jenkins. Thank you. But we didn't mention that in the update. Gabe Alvarez has come out and told ESPN that. We talk about culture all the time. Look, the Pistons culture, look at how it's changed. It's a fair point because it has changed, and they've done a great job with it. What about the other culture? What about that culture? Think about it for a moment. And what maybe in sports, maybe social media has helped us with this. It's part of our Mitch Lyons Well poll question too. I guess this is part of culture too. We asked you, how much do you care about the Vrabel-Rossini alleged affair? Not at all. Follow a little. Immersed in it. Just want to see it come to an end. The fact that we're even talking about it, or others are talking about it too, is, borderline ridiculous that it went on as long as it did. And what's at stake? She's already resigned from The Athletic. There's articles out there that says she wants to actually talk to either 60 Minutes or CBS Good Morning America or whatever the hell it's called. How is he going to be? If he and her had a boat, rented a boat by themselves 2 to 3 hours when she was pregnant with her first child, what was it, 2021, Andy? Something like that. How in the world do you come back from this? It's constant. There's something new almost every day. And you're finding this out in sports in general. Vrabel, Alvarez, Sam Menzen with the Tigers before, Ime Udoka with the Boston Celtics in 2022, the BU athletic department with the men's soccer team. You've heard about that, I'm sure, and the women's soccer team. Mel Tucker, Sharon Moore, Mel Pearson. It's crazy. What the hell are these guys doing? Just concentrate on your job, for crying out loud. Is it that hard? I'm serious. No pun intended. Why is it you can find yourself distracted by a female staffer? Here's a way to get rid of it. Here's a way not to be distracted. Don't hire them. If you can't control yourself, don't hire them. And that may not be fair to them, but in the end, that's what's going to happen. What guy thinks that it's a good idea as you text a female, whether you're married or not, a good idea to text a female to tell her either a dirty joke or a wink wink just to get a response from her on a statement to see if she's interested? Like those things don't go away, everybody. Emails don't go away. That doesn't go away. What are you doing? Do you recognize what you're putting at stake here? It's nuts that Mel Tucker would do what he did, that Sharon Moore would do what he did. Jeopardize your whole, it's not just your career, it's your livelihood, career, family. It affects you more than just you. It's one thing if you're single, it's still stupid, but the married people, this is getting ridiculous. Mike Vrabel, how do you recover from this? She's trying to build back up a reputation. Is there any publication that hires her? Any network that hires her? She can't go cover football. Every scoop she gets, what's the immediate thought? Fair or unfair? What's the immediate thought, Andy? How did you get that information from that wide receiver? Why? Were you the wide receiver as well? That's what everybody's going to be asking. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
She can't cover any sport and expect to get this scoop or be an NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL insider without those types of ramifications. Can he stand in front of a group of men and say, we have to have character? Others have done it. You may not think this is fair, and it's probably not, but others have done it. You and I both know that, right? I mean, does it really, think about it for a second. Does it really matter for those coaches? Coaches in scandals. Does it really matter? Did it really matter for Urban Meyer? He got another job, didn't he? And he's well respected. Did it matter to Bobby Knight? Nope. Did it matter to Bobby Petrino? The same school that got rid of him for that hired him back. It doesn't. That's the frustration that I think a lot of people outside have for it. Did it matter for Rick Pitino? Anybody bring that up now? Andy, when he made the run with St. John's, was anybody talking about him and a woman in a restaurant with the sexual encounter?
That was the next person I had to bring up. Yeah. It's no one talks about it. Nope. That's just how it goes, man. If they can coach, at the end of the day, someone's going to find them and give them the job. Right. They can get around it.
Dead on. And those are just, I mean, I gave some examples, but some of them are also the sexual examples as well. I'm not even going to, Todd Bozeman for violations of paying family prospects or Kelvin Sampson for impermissible calls to recruits. It pales in comparison to some of the other stuff. Guys have rebounded from this before. That's the problem. But I don't know where people are at. How are they talking or how are they getting themselves into this situation? It's madness. And then you worry about the culture aspect of it. Because at least for Village Sports and Entertainment, it goes a little bit deeper, doesn't it? I mean, there was a whistleblower in that whole situation. They fired that person. They said, thank you for bringing it to our attention. They waited a little bit and then fired her. So they've had people in position of power doing this kind of stuff. And the people who actually bring it to the attention of those that need to know are getting canned. Make sense to you? Me either. When we come back, something that will make sense. Trying to get kids away from video games and into something a little bit more wholesome, like baseball. Jeff Lazarus is the founder of Strikeout Baseball. He joins us on the other side here on X's and Bros because they got a big event coming up this Saturday. Stay with us.
Dad, here's 3 reasons why we should go to the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give.
Okay.
1, you can spend Father's Day weekend with some real golfers.
Ouch.
2, it's a good time for a good cause. Foodie fun, family fun, and fun helping feed neighbors in need.
And 3.
3, do you really need another reason?
Join the fun June 18th through 21st at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Learn more and get tickets at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Mitch Lyons here, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth, where we create your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement. I'm here with Tiger legend Kirk Gibson, who we are proud to support and partner with on the newly opened Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's Wellness.
Thanks, Mitch. We appreciate your support, and we are excited to have recently opened the center in Farmington Hills. It provides exercise therapy and educational programs that are helping the Parkinson's community. Just like Mitch Lyons Wealth helps improve the quality for their clients' retirements, this center helps improve the quality of life for people with Parkinson's.
And Gibby, the best part of all is that access to the center is available to the Parkinson's community free of charge, right?
That's right, absolutely free of charge for people with Parkinson's and their care partners.
You hit a couple of the most famous home runs in Major League history, Gibby, but I feel that your greatest hit will be the positive impact that Kirk Gibson Center is making in the fight against Parkinson's.
Mitch, since my diagnosis, I get up every day and focus on winning that day. This center encourages others to do the same.
Awesome, Gibby. To learn more, go to kirkgibsoncenter.org.
Motown Legends, TNT, together again. Temptation. 4 Tops, Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $55 and on sale now at the box office and etix.com. Saturday night, May 9th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Temps and Tops together again.
Where are you watching the Tigers this year? Superfly Hayes here for Detroit Sports Net. Sign up like the Ute Show did with the Detroit Sports Net Tigers Wings package. Subscription info at tigers.com and MLB.com.
There are certain sports that you just gravitate to when you were a kid, and maybe it's a little bit later on in life, but overall it's something that you just have a great passion about. Jeff Lazarus is a friend of mine. He's the founder of Strikeout Baseball in Lansing. His passion is baseball. His second passion is growing the game and connecting kids to the game, because you don't see it enough these days. And he joins us here on X's and Bros. Jeff, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing this morning, brother?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. So Strikeout Baseball, it's a beautiful facility. We talked with John Smoltz about this yesterday, and we'll get into the big events that are taking place Saturday. But what was the idea behind you founding Strikeout Baseball?
I'm a Detroit guy, man, born and raised, man. I grew up on the west side. I look back and have memories of, the Sandlot games where we play 9-on-9 and the winner stays on the field, man. And we'd have 9 guys waiting to play the winning team. And, I played at a high level, worked at the old ballpark as a kid. Just grew up loving the game. I mean, when I say loving the game, like this was all we did. Like that was my first love. And I was just talking about this the other night. I still got the first glove that I used in, grade school. That was a great glove. My Rawlings, it beat the crap. I never restrung it, but just wanted to find a way to build that love for the kids of the next generation who have no idea what strikeout is, who have no idea how to go play 2-on-2 baseball, and just wanted to create a really cool venue that would get them excited to fall in love with our national pastime. And that's my explanation in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's really well done. And I feel the passion in your voice, and I feel the exact same thing, because I still have my first glove too. And I know it's kind of silly to some, but it's so meaningful to us. So this idea comes about where it's 2-on-2, because it's hard to find 9-on-9 these days and then have another team waiting. How much did that play into the whole foundership of such an idea like Strikeout Baseball?
Like I said, when I played at a high level. I played into junior college. I was throwing mid-80s out of high school. I hung around with a rough crowd growing up. I grew up in the city, and I wasn't in the suburbs, and saw a lot of crazy stuff over the years. And I feel like what I've done and what I'm doing is like I may get emotional talking about it, but it's my way of giving back to the game. Like baseball was my rock and my savior as a kid, right? I could have very easily become a statistic and got called names when I had to go in early because I had baseball the next day. And if I screwed up, man, I wasn't going to have a career. And when I realized I wasn't going to make it, like I said, my mind shifted and said, what is it that helped me develop this love? And it was strikeout, because that's what we did when we couldn't get the kids together. Inside the oak tree, inside the monkey ball of ours was a fair ball. Anything through the infield is a single. 1 or 2 hops to the fence is a double. Line shot is a triple. We did that for days. We pitched it every dime we had to buy these flyback rubber balls, and we would play till they split in half or fouled up onto the school. You don't see that, and I feel like Strikeout Baseball is a way to get these kids active, play in the game, and be creative. Like John mentions, they can play by any rules they want. Just go play.
Yeah. It's a beautiful facility. You've got a lot of great partners associated with it that we will get to. But now that you've built this in Lansing, what's been the response so far, and how encouraged are you by that response to maybe expand this idea that you have?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a little overwhelming, but initially when I built a replica of Tiger Stadium in Garden City, Michigan, at Cherry Hill and Merriman, Garden City Park. And that was my first go at this. Invested my life savings and built it with my own money. Several years went by, and I said, you know what? If I don't give this another opportunity, I'm going to regret it. So I started the process over again 12 years later. But initially, I thought if we could get some star power behind what I'm doing, and a friend of a friend knew Mickey Lolich. Lolich was at my grand opening in Garden City in 2004. He was at the ribbon cutting ceremony, threw out the first pitch, brought the Fantasy Camp Tigers in full uniform. And looking back on that, it's funny that Smoltz here, and they're both number 29. And when I see you Saturday, man, I want to show you the brick I put in the walkway, and it thanks both number 29s.
That's cool.
For believing in this wild dream that I had as a kid, man, to build something cool for kids, to develop a love for baseball. And that's my motive, and that's my drive, is create a place where kids can fall in love with baseball.
Yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. Go to the website, strikeoutbaseball.org. Come out and play. It's free. That's what it says, and that's what it is. And you help the kids in that regard. Getting them out, getting them active is one thing. Staying in love with baseball is another thing. But how many parents come up to you and say, thank you, because this gives our kids something to do and get out there and enjoy the fresh air?
It's overwhelming, man. Everybody that comes, it's really cool, because initially when I had my place in Garden City, it was a different animal. It was kind of a pay-per-use, but I never charged people. I just wanted the people to be exposed to this new concept that I had created. So it wasn't about making money. But if I had a dollar for every time one of us old guys come up and say, man, if we had this when we were kids, man, it would have been awesome, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it didn't answer your previous question. John has gotten us some traction in the way of promoting this at a high level, with a lot of well-known baseball players. And in fact, he's friends with the commissioner. They know what we're doing. They see what we're doing. We're trying to get it functional. John's gotten us some national exposure on the MLB network and in fact, the day after our opening last year, June 6th, on June 7th, he was broadcasting the Yankees-Boston game and did a 30-second clip on it with Joe Davis on national TV. We had 7.3 million people that saw Strikeout Baseball. So we got instant traction. The goal for me, you and I have talked about this, I'd like to honor past and present ball players with future facilities. And what that does, Matt, is creates a legacy for these players that maybe people never heard of, or gives an opportunity for a kid to have hope to go, hey, that Major League Baseball player grew up in my neighborhood. I can do what he did. Yeah. And we're going to give him the tool to do that.
That's so well said, because there's not enough organizations that do that. Okay. They bring up the greatest players they've ever had, but they don't bring up the very good players. Whose numbers and names should be rolling off people's tongues. Let's use an example. Bill Freehand for the Tigers. So it's so well said, and it's well thought out. Jeff Lazarus, the founder of Strikeout Baseball, joining us here on X's and Bros throughout the state of Michigan and streaming live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. You are a dreamer, and part of your dream has been fulfilled, but you have bigger dreams and bigger expectations. What are they associated with Strikeout Baseball?
As a Detroit guy, man, we're looking at 3 locations. I love the idea of getting some local people in Detroit that love the game to not only support and endorse this, but maybe get behind it to say, hey, each one of our neighborhoods needs these facilities to get kids engaged with the game, right? And it's hurtful because I feel like baseball, I don't want to say it's been a dying sport, because there's been a lot of excitement around, the World Series and Shohei and, all these great players, Judge, and all these players we get to watch today. But you really have to think about the viewership. You have to think about the people that, and I say people, the kids in inner cities that might never be exposed to the game of baseball, because it's just not feasible for 4 kids sitting around playing video games to say, hey, let's go play some baseball. They're not going to do it. Yeah. With Strikeout Baseball, they can.
So you talked about the possible 3 locations in Detroit. Are you looking to capture more and more in the state of Michigan, or are you looking to expand it beyond the Mitten State?
We've had interest in other states. Obviously, we're working with some groups now that see the potential in utilizing Strikeout Baseball as a beta. This is our model. John says, it's been birthed, and that's what we've worked on over the last 4 or 5 years together, is getting this thing up. We got videos of him walking up to the stadium last year for the first time when it was completed, because this time last year, Matt, we were scrambling to get this stadium done. And now that it's done, we got a full clear runway into fun. We're doing clinics all summer. We got lug nuts players going to show up. We got Jake Boss is on my advisory board from MSU. He's going to bring some players to run some clinics. It's free to the kids. They show up and we teach them, not only the intricacies of the game, but I'll share with you a quick story. And I shared this with you before, but I want to share it on air. A year ago, August, we're waiting on a piece of netting to cover the stadium. 5,000 square feet. This is a big piece of netting. And I show up in my driveway. I got 3 big boxes sitting in front of my garage, in my driveway. And I went, holy crap, man, they sent this thing in 3 pieces. I'm going to have to sew it together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I opened up the first box. Smoltz made a call to Wilson. He shipped me like 60 boxes, 60 gloves in 3 boxes of brand new, beautiful Wilson leather baseball gloves. And we give them to the kids in that neighborhood that come to these clinics that don't own a baseball glove, man. And it's,
Wow.
for a baseball guy, I get choked up. It's heartwarming. It shows that John cares about the kids, and he cares about growing the game.
Amen to that. And he's not the kind of guy who would sit there and tell you he did that. Somebody else has got to tell that story about John Smoltz, who joined us yesterday and talked glowingly about Strikeout Baseball. Big event Saturday. What is it from 12 to 4, and how can people get involved?
You know what? We're going to have a big hoopla with some games being played. Smoltz is going to come into town. We're going to make this an annual event to show his support of the project. You know, he doesn't just lend his name to things. He believes wholeheartedly that what we've created collaboratively could be a tool to grow the game, and he's going to support that mission. We're going to have some games, and it was kind of a late thought, but we want to honor veterans at Strikeout Baseball. We're going to have a commemorative little ceremony in the beginning, in introducing Strikeout Baseball to some of our local veterans, which is cool. And we have kids teams playing. We got some local sponsors that are going to play a game. John's going to be an honorary coach. He gets in there and he's interactive with the players. It's fun to see. They get to meet a Hall of Famer. Just as a baseball guy, you know, I say this, you and I have talked about this. We're just big kids, right? And I think that's what baseball does is it doesn't let that little kid in you die, because Strikeout Baseball brings back that feeling of pickup baseball, figuring out how to tape up a ball and make a ball. You know, whatever it took to play baseball, we did it.
What do you love most about
for it?
Yeah, what do you love most about the game? Baseball itself. What is it you love most about it?
The attention to detail that every player is involved with every play, and people don't see that. It's fun for me to watch games with novice people that don't understand what's going on, because for baseball lovers, it's a complex sport. You know, it's not an easy sport physically, but of course mentally. This, and it's been said, Strikeout Baseball, Matt, is kind of like a farm system for kids to get involved with the game. And if we could put a foundation in place to educate these kids about the intricacies and the importance of team play and some of the technical things, that's why we're bringing in people that can provide lessons for these kids, give them an opportunity, put a glove on their hand. Whether they go on to play at a high level, that'd be great. But if they don't, it keeps these kids off the street. They're playing our game.
Final thought from you. Have you need support, not just from people like John Smoltz and your wonderful sponsors who have helped build you this facility, but also from cities and civic leaders. What's the reaction you get from civic leaders when you approach them with an idea like this?
You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, I look back on the fundraising process, Matt, and over the past few years, I'm approaching people to donate $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to this project. And they go, well, what is it? And you go, well, it's a miniature stadium. They go, well, where can we see one? And you go, well, there isn't one. This is the first one. And we get that response from people that don't really know the functionality of what Strikeout Baseball is. I'll give you an example. Last year we had Rosema pop out with a friend of a friend. I've met Rosema many times in the past, but he came out to the stadium. He walked up to me, put his hands on my shoulders and looked at me, and he goes, this is free? I said, yeah. He goes, they don't pay. They don't rent it. I go, no. Like, you want to play hoop? You grab a ball, you go play. You want to play tennis? Grab some rackets, go play. We're making baseball accessible to kids that otherwise might never play the game. And to answer your question, the response is awesome, but people want to see it function, and that's what we're doing right now. We're making it hum, in John's words. We're going to get people there. We're going to educate kids, arm them with the tools to play our national pastime. And I'm really proud to have John, a supporting cast of board members. I want to mention we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 organization that's appealing to investors that want to do some great things with their money. And we're open to talk to folks about expanding and growing this concept, man.
Well, it should be growing. And it's a beautiful concept. It's wholesome. It's free. How many games will be played Saturday?
3 games. We're going to do some abbreviated games, 2 or 3 inning games, half-hour time limit. You can play strikeout baseball, in a shortened version, but it'll be just interactive. This isn't super competitive. This is to show how the game's played, because we have a lot of people that came up while it was being built and say, well, what is this? Is this baseball or what? I don't get it. But when you walk up and you see the rules and you start to play and you engage, you're pitching, you're hitting, you're fielding. There's some modified rules. There's no fly balls. There's no base running. But when you play it, it's addicting and it's fun. And like John said to you yesterday, who heard of pickleball 6-7 years ago?
It's such a great example. It really is. But this is so pure and wholesome. I love every single minute of it. I can't wait to be there on Saturday. Congratulations, Jeff, to all you've done. We'll keep working to make sure more communities have the opportunity to participate and celebrate strikeout baseball. We'll see you Saturday, okay?
Thank you for the time today, man. I appreciate your love for the game. Appreciate what you're doing to help expound on what we've created. Excited for everybody to meet John Smoltz and what a class act he is and how much he loves what we're doing here in Lansing. So thank you.
Yeah, it was evident yesterday, and it was evident by your passion here today. Jeff Lazarus, the founder of Strikeout Baseball in Lansing, 12-4 this coming weekend. 3 games, some of it honoring veterans. John Smoltz, an honorary coach there. Join us if you can, because it's going to be a blast. Let's get to the final results of our poll question from yesterday. We have one for you, Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question every single day. Yesterday, we asked you, how long does this Pistons series go? Is it going to be a sweep? Is it going to be 5 games, 6 games, or 7 games as they get ready for game 2 tonight? Andy, what did people say?
Well, the sweep was only at 2%, so people definitely aren't buying the sweep.
Okay.
9% of the vote was 5 games, so they're definitely thinking 6 or 7. 6 games won at 62%, and 7 games came in at 27%. I could see that too. That doesn't really surprise me that much.
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me either. Just shows you again how knowledgeable our sports fan base is for the most part. I thought it would be a 6-game series. Wouldn't surprise me if they went 7. 6 means you're wrapping things up in Cleveland. Won't necessarily be easy, but you know how I feel about home court and home ice and home field advantage in general. So it's a good one. We have another poll question for you right now. And yes, it is a little different. I get that. But it is in the news. Whether we like it or not, it's in the news. How much do you care about the Vrabel Rossini alleged affair? Not at all. Follow a little. Immersed in it. Just want to see it come to an end. I will say this. You can vote as often as you want at XB Mornings. I've retweeted it out at Shep Matt. The thing about that is, I mean, people do talk about it. You may not like it, but when somebody starts talking about it, you listen a little bit, you may give your 2 cents, and then you may bag out. But it is something that I think a lot of people are paying attention to. We thank you for paying attention to us here on a Thursday morning, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Our thanks to Jeff Lazarus, the founder of Strikeout Baseball. We're back with you tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. John Paul Morosi joining us here on X's and Bros. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
In the Den. It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a new day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, your getaway reimagined. This is Matt Shepard. Wednesday night was another disappointment for the Tigers, getting swept by the Red Sox, who, by the way, had come to town losing 4 of their previous 5 games. But there were a couple of bright spots. Riley Green and Jack Flaherty. Green collected a couple of hits, including a double to lead off the second, meaning he became only the 8th player in franchise history to reach 200 extra base hits with the Tigers before turning 26 years old. He joined Ty Cobb, Hank Greenberg, Al Kaline, Willie Horton, Aurelio Rodriguez, Travis Fryman, and Nick Castellanos on that list. Flaherty, despite suffering the loss, struck out 10 batters, his first double-digit strikeout performance since August of 2024 while he pitched with the Dodgers. When your team has lost 3 straight games and lost 3 of its last 4 series, you search for anything positive, right?
Mitch Lyons here, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth, where we create your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement. I'm here with Tiger legend Kirk Gibson, who we are proud to support and partner with on the newly opened Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's Wellness.
Thanks, Mitch. We appreciate your support, and we are excited to have recently